Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Happiness Unchained. My name is Quiche or Coach Q, and I am here to help you to really live happy. I show women how to let go of being filled with anxiety and people pleasing and chasing money, which is a big thing that I was really guilty of, and to really step into earning what they want, live what they want, and to finally be happy. I don't know if you guys have ever really experienced those times where you live happy moments, but you don't really have a happy life. You'll learn a little bit more about my history as we continue through this journey together, but that was a big thing for me. And when I broke free of really chasing things that weren't meant for me, life really began. So I love to teach others how to do the same. These podcasts, just what to expect, is really, they're going to be about 15 to 20 minutes as things evolve. And I really just want to come here and share my story with you, let you know you're not alone, give you tips and things that you can start to implement in your life, and really just to have a good time, right? Sometimes we forget to have fun. That was me for many years. And I really just want to come on and be myself and show you guys that it's okay. You can be yourself and that we're all in this thing together and everyone struggles. Social media has a way of really just putting out like this perfection thing. And I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist. And yeah, so we're gonna break free of this perfectionist grind and having to live up to other people's standards together. Really the vision for this is to give you guys a space to be able to come to, especially when you need a little motivation and inspiration. And really, as I said before, just give you practical things that you can start to implement in your life right now, today, to be able to get to where you want. And there are a lot of key things that we need to do that I teach people that I want to talk to you about on this podcast or in this space, I should say. You guys will learn that words sometimes are not my strong suit. So just have a giggle, have a laugh, because we're all here to be to have a little fun, to let loose. Life's really not that serious. There are serious moments, but I think we lose the fun and the joy in it when we start to step into adulthood. So just a little background about me and my madness on this side. I was born and raised in the wonderful state of Tennessee in a little town. Well, it's not so little anymore, but south of Nashville. And I, from a young age, knew exactly what I wanted to do. And that was to be a doctor. And my parents are very awesome and helped to cater to that. And I don't know why I keep looking over here like the camera's over there, but for those of you who are watching this, but they really were very awesome at like making sure that I had everything that I needed and making sure that I was advancing towards the things that I really wanted. And for me, that was huge because like I was like all about this lifestyle, played heavy sports, um, went to college. I went to school in Florida for a few years and then came back to Tennessee for a few years to finish out that schooling. And then I had a year or two of complete madness. Just we'll say enjoying life a little too much. And then I moved to Colorado, and that was really a transformational place for me or a transformational time. And if you've never been to Colorado here in the States, it is so beautiful. Super expensive now. But when I went, it wasn't too bad, but the mountains are super beautiful, peaceful, calm. If you like outdoorsy type things, there's tons of hiking. And if you are a camper, that's definitely a place. I myself have gone camping a couple of times, but that is not, I used to have a dream of backpacking around the world until it clicked in my brain that I was like, girl, you're gonna have to camp. So that dream is quickly going away, but I do want to go all over the world and hike so that at the end of the day, I can take my little self home and shower and be in a bed with a roof and air conditioning slash heat, whatever that looks like. So, but Colorado is a very awesome place. If you haven't been there, I recommend visiting. Um, Tons of things to do, really awesome people. lived there for, oh gosh, 8 or 9 years. And I really started my transformational journey there. I became a yoga instructor in 2016, started practicing about a year and a half before that. These are all stories I'll dive deeper into a bit later. Just want to give you guys sort of an overview so you know a little bit about me, but became a yoga instructor in 2016 and um that really started a lot for me. I started doing private lessons on top of working a job. And just to rewind the tape a little bit, when it comes to you guys who are out there who are like, yes, I love what you teach and I want to know your ways, but how in the heck am I going to do that when I'm working 1+ jobs? When I was in college at one point, I went to school full time and I literally had 3 jobs. Please don't ask me how I made it. I probably wasn't sleeping very much, but I did it. So I completely understand what it means to have multiple jobs because there's only been a couple of times in my life where I've only had one. So you're not alone in that, but you can free yourself from that. You just have to have the right plan in place and in action. Um, but yoga instructor, started teaching private lessons, really loved it. And then I hit a space in my life to where it was dark. It was a dark, dark, dirty place. And I woke up one day and I literally asked myself, what is the point of me being here? And if anybody has ever been in that space, you know there is one or two directions that you can go. Um, if you feel like that. And for those of you who are still here with us, I congratulate you and I'm so proud of you for making the choice to just take it one more day. For those of you who are in that space, just give it one more day. It gets better, even though it doesn't feel like it. And if you need help, please reach out to someone. There's no shame in that, for sure. So I laid with myself and I really said, there's really no way we were put on this earth to just feel like this, work, pay bills, and die. Like, what would be the point of creating such an amazing planet for that to be the case? So I really had to step outside of myself and think about that. And what I realized was I just have to get out of this funk because if I don't, I may or may not be here. Right? And the thing for me is I just took some time to really get to know myself. And a lot of us don't really know ourselves, and that's very weird to say because you're like, well, I'm me, but do you actually know yourself? And the first thing I really asked myself is like what it is that I wanted. And I could tell you a million things that I didn't want, but what it was that I wanted, ooh, I had no idea what I wanted in my life. So that started my journey. And as we know, in 2020, COVID showed her beautiful face and graced the world with a lockdown. And that was really a big thing for me because I was quote unquote essential. And yes, very grateful to have a job and still be able to pay my bills and whatnot. But it was really an eye opener to show that I didn't have choices. Like if I wanted to continue to pay my bills, like I had to go to work and interact with people. And that was, as you guys know, in the beginning was a time where it was scary. We had no idea what the heck this stuff was. People were dying. They couldn't give us answers. And then I'm having to go out and, exchange money with these people. I was working in the financial industry at the time, and it was like, whoa, money is dirty anyway. And then we having to deal with this disease on top of it. So that really sparked something in me. And that's when I first started coaching. And that was a very interesting thing for me. I'd always been that person who wanted to have their own business, but I didn't really know how. I didn't know what steps to take. And really, that just sort of halted me in my tracks. So if you're in that space, yeah, I completely understand. So I really just took a leap and was like, I have to do something because this is not it. And I started coaching and I was teaching people how to manage stress and anxiety because I had crazy anxiety. And as we know, depression, and my depression, when it gets out of control, it is to the depths. So I really just wanted to teach people how to manage it, right? Some people have deeper levels of it that they may need professionals for, but I was really just helping people to manage it, especially in a time where it was highest because it was like a forced lockdown and things were madness. People couldn't pay their bills, people were losing their jobs, all of that. So that was really good for me, as well as helping other people to do that. And then towards the end of the year, I told myself, I cannot do this. I do not want to be at this job. I do not want to be around these people. It's just not feeding my soul the way I need it to. So I decided to make a leap. And I took a leave of absence from my job. I moved all of my things back to Tennessee, and then I quit my job because sometimes if it is affecting your peace, guys, like even if it is your job and it is making you income, you gotta let that go because your health, especially your mental health, is way more important than a paycheck. And I understand like you got kids to feed, you gotta feed yourself, you gotta try and keep a roof over your head, but you will figure it out. There's always a way. So just think about that if you were in a space to where you're like, I literally just hate everything. I get it, but sometimes you're just gonna have to make that leap. So when I moved back, I really decided, I like what I'm doing, but I sort of want to amp it up and I want sort of a different audience. And I wanted to help those busy professionals that were like me, had one or, multiple jobs where they were like high stress, busy all the time, and just really struggling to find time for themselves and to manage those things. So I was helping professionals with things like time management, goal setting, managing anxiety and stress, because that is a big thing. Um, that we're all stressed out all the time, and sometimes it's just self-inflicted. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because of societal standards and different things, or pressures that we feel like we have to uphold for our families or what have you. And that a lot of times is just, yeah, it's self-inflicted. It's not, we don't have to put so much pressure or put these super high standards on ourselves. Like we have to remember that we are actually human. I know we feel superhuman sometimes. I know I do, but we are actually human and we're allowed to make mistakes, not be perfect, and not accomplish things in timelines that we set for ourselves. And that's a different conversation for a different day. But, really just, I was really just trying to help people understand like we need to relax a little bit, just a tad. So started doing that, but there was something that just did not click with that audience. And it was money was good, but I was unhappy doing it. And that was really like me trading my job for owning a job. And like that, if you know anything about like the business quadrant and anything, you know that sometimes you can own a job and it's still stressful and whatnot. And I think a lot of reasons that people start their own business is to really sort of have choices. And in the beginning, I'm not going to say you don't have to put in all the work, but you're going to be glad to do it. So I really stopped that. And then I fell back into the job world, y'all. I worked so hard to escape from it. And then was like, don't want to do this business anymore, get a job. But my justification was, let me get a job doing something different. Yeah, let's do something I've never done before. So I started cleaning houses, which is really cool because if you clean houses, you make crazy money. Excuse me. I always have a frog in my throat, so my apologies. But you make crazy money and super fast once you sort of get the rhythm of it. And I was doing pretty well, moved up in the company, whatnot. And I thought, okay, this is going to be temporary, just like 6 months till I can figure out what job it is or what business it is that I want to start. 2 years later, I'm still in this job, y'all. I got caught up, dangle that carrot, and I got caught up in it. And I like to call those the golden handcuffs sometimes. Like we may be in a job, especially in corporate America, where they have a very beautiful paycheck, but you are unhappy and feel like that you can't step out of that because it sustains you or you've done it for so long or what have you. So, so yeah, that sort of got me. And then I literally looked up one day and I was like, I do not like what's going on behind the scenes here. So I really just started to get my butt into gear and really just started, okay, what do you want to do? And I started to do things that I actually enjoyed. And that was like an epiphany for me because for so long I didn't do anything that was fun because I needed to save money, or I felt like if it wasn't going towards something to free me from where I was, that I just didn't need to do it. And it just really sucked a lot of joy out of my life. So I just did something for me. It had nothing to do with at the time, starting a business or anything. It was just like, what do you want to do? What's fun? Like, do something that's fun, even though you have to do these things that you don't really want to do right now. So I got my personal training certification and my nutrition certification because that's something that I've wanted for a long time and just never did. Like, I started it a few times, but please don't ask me what happened, life, or I just got sucked into that crunchy mindset, we'll say. Finally got that and was like, "Ooh, I really like this." And then I thought, "Oh my gosh, stress management like I did before and then helping people with their wellness, great." So I started health coaching and that was good, but it wasn't really something that I felt was going to make the impact that I wanted to make on the world. So I really decided to put together just this little test program for people and had just a really small group. It was like 4 or 5 people. And at the end of it, I learned so much and decided to sort of put together something that I do today. It was sort of beginning stages, but really just, ramped it up, rebranded my business, because my old business name, people thought I just taught yoga, and that was not the case, so I had to just do all these things, got really excited, and then boom, my job laid me off. Crazy. I know. You think you're secure, they tell you you're fine, and then surprise, we've decided we're gonna move forward without you. Fantastic. That was good. I was, very, angry, that's the word we're gonna use, and once I finally made it home to calm down, it was like a weight was lifted off of me. Like, I should have left that job a long time ago, but as I said, I got comfortable, and I also just was like, "Man, money's really easy, so I can just maybe pay some bills down while I'm working on my business," and it really I wasn't really hardcore pursuing what I actually wanted to do, but I will say that that put a fire under my butt, for sure, and that's what's really propelled me to really dive deep into my business and brought a lot of clarity. And I can tell you, the couple of months right after that happened was I transformed into a completely different person, and that really solidified what it is that I'm here to do today. And that's helping other women like myself. And I do have some gentlemen in my sphere. So, not to exclude you, but I usually target my females out there. Um, because I am one and I can relate to you much more than men. Even though I do have something in the works for you gentlemen, but it's really just about empowering you to understand that like we are so much more capable than we think or realize. And like there's so much that are holding us down and holding us back and we don't even realize it. So I know that was like a lot to say about my history, but that sort of catches you up as to a little bit about me. And like I said, you'll learn deeper stories as we go along. Um, Find me once a week on Wednesdays. Make sure that you follow, have your notifications on so that you can be alerted as soon as the next episode comes out. Thanks for listening. Invite your friends, invite your family, excuse me, invite your dog, whoever, to listen to this and hopefully give you some value. So we will see you next week. Have a good one.